Bharatiya Shastra, every activity starts with a prayer. And the prayer happens to be saluting your Gurus. Today, whatever I am going to speak is just what I have learned from few of my Gurus who contributed their time in teaching me what Indian heritage is. During 2000-2005, I was very active in spreading Indian scientific heritage in India and abroad. I had many occasions to speak on this. It was a great surprise for me when Bharatiya Pariyakshana Samiti, Dr. Prasad Rao Garu spoke to me, asking my time for giving a few lectures. It was a shock to me when I heard that the first lecture happens to be in my own college. And it gives me a privilege, pleasure and pride to be in front of first year BTech students whom I am probably addressing first time. Last year I had occasions to be with the first year students 2 days in orientation programs. I would have given the title not Indian Scientific Heritage but Bharatiya Shastra Paidal. But I am sure if I write like that, probably people may not appreciate because they think that it is something very close to Bharatiya. The name itself is associated with a party, which I do not belong to. There is a reason when we talk about India and Bharat, it is entirely different. India after 1947 is what we know as India. But if you look at old Puranas, Idihasas, Vedas, Aranyakas, etc., etc., you will see reference to Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama happens to be a Haryana fellow. The place where Ashwatthama took birth is Haryana. Whereas you have Bali Chakravarti and also Parashurama, he is from Kerala. I am giving the boundaries of Bharata. Whereas we have Vyasa and he belongs to UP. We have Hanuman, who is very famous. He is from Andaman and Nicobar. So Bharata was extended up to that. We have Vibhishana, who belongs to Sri Lanka. And we have Kripacharya, who belongs to Iran. So we had a boundary from long spread area in the South Asian region. So what is that scientific heritage we had? Does it talk about science or does it talk about only spirituality, only religious practices? Yes. Science was mixed up in religious practices. I just had the first few stanza chanting Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devu, Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. The continuation of that Ajnana Tivirandasya Nananjana Shalagaya Chakshuru Vilidamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Probably most of you must not have heard this because that's a continuation which probably people don't generally chant. Ajnana Timirandasya. Ajnana, not having knowledge is equivalent to having Timiram. Timiram is cataract. So not having knowledge is equivalent to cataract. You imagine this is a sloka which was written, God only knows which year when. Not less than 10,000s of years old. Ajnana Tivirandasya Nananjana Shalagaya. Knowledge is like a kajal which I gave as an eye drops. So when you put the eye drop, your Ajnanam will disappear and you will get Jnanam. That is Guru's job. And I salute you that gives me this. Ajnana Timirandasya Nananjana Shadagaya Chashurumilidamyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. This is a normal prayer. I am not looking at the prayer. I am looking at science behind it. That means there was a time when a kajal sort of a medicine was available in Bharat, where you apply that and your cataract can be treated. Even today, cataract can be treated only through surgery in the modern science. We had medicines for cataract long years back in Bharat Shastra. Take a lot of examples which are part of prayers. Morning we are supposed to chant. As soon as you wake up, before getting up, you are supposed to sit on the bed and then supposed to look at your hand and say Karagre Vasate Lakshmi Karamadye Saraswati Karamule Sthita Gauri Prabhade Karadarshanam. It looks like a small chanting, but this could be the best motivational lecture which can be given to you by yourself every day morning. Because it says Karagre Vasate Lakshmi. Lakshmi is the goddess for wealth. Money. Lakshmi stands for money. In your hand, your money. Your money is in your hand, not in somebody's hand. If I am rich, it's because of me. Karagre Vasate Lakshmi. Karamadye Saraswati. My education is my credit, not somebody's. Karamule Sthita Gauri. My energy is my credit. If I am sick, it is because of my practices, bad practices. If I am healthy, that's because of my good practices. So your money, your education, your health belongs to your hand. Is there a better motivation than this to each one of us in the early morning when we pray this? Does it not ensure us to take care of our studies, take care of our money, take care of our health? These are the three things which are required for you throughout your life. These are the three things which maintains you well in your life. And so funny, the Bharatiya Deva Sankalpa is, the credit can be given to you don't know whom. The Lakshmi's husband is Vishnu. Vishnu's job is maintenance and action. You cannot do any action without money. The pair is made in such a style. Wherever you have education, you should have Brahma. Brahma is the god for creativity. Wherever education is there, you should have creativity. If you are not a researcher, you are not supposed to get educated. You must have creativity in you, then your education becomes worth. And similarly, Lord Shiva is the goddess of meditation, the god of meditation. And you have Saraswati Shakti, who is supposed to be the power which you have. If you are sick, you cannot meditate. So Karamule Sthita Gauri. If you have energy in your hand, then only you can meditate. So the pair is also made so scientific. The Bharatiya Sankalpa, Bharatiya Deva Shastra is so scientific, which made its pair fantastic. Most of the stories you will see in Puranas and Idihasas. To tell you, Puranas and Idihasas are not Shastras. They are only stories. But stories, though we say the Akbar's history or Akbar's story, maybe we will say Shivaji's story. The Shivaji story is based on Shivaji's real life. So most of the facts may be exaggerated to make it interesting. Similarly, you will see Lord Krishna's story associated with Mahabharata, and after that, the life which he had. All that could be stories, but it is associated with a person who lived on this earth. We were discussing, myself, Principal and Dr. Prasad Rao were discussing, and it so happened, the coincidence, 22nd November, that is tomorrow, is the anniversary of Mahabharata beginning. Exactly 5,117 years back, it happened in this land, Kurukshetra. And you must go and see Kurukshetra. The Kurukshetra is the place which is 60 km wide. And the whole Mahabharata happened in 60 km wide warfield. 60 km wide, you can imagine. And when Lord Krishna put his Ratha, it was 30 kilometers from both sides, in the center of that. And that was the war. Probably the best war ever happened in this world. There are nice books written by army people on the formation. The formation is the way you arrange military people for fighting. Lessons from Mahabharatas. Because the Mahabharata describes how the people were arranged for fighting. And we had lessons from Mahabharata which are even today used by military people. I remember when I was in Department of Space, I was working on strategic analysis and we had a book on biological weapons. And biological weapons book published by Jains. Jains are the authority from America. They publish all the military books. And we open the first page, you will see a paragraph starting with biological weapons were practiced in India during Rama's time. It is not written by Indian, written by Americans, authoritative Jain's book. When I was reading, I was really thrilled because we had weapons. You will see the war between the Devas and Asuras. Asuras are black in color, Devas are white in skin. So when the white skinned people fire an arrow, all the bad skinned people will become unconscious. And the counter was done by the black skinned people against white skinned people. That means the medicine which they used as biological weapon were able to dictate the skin color and affect the mind. I'm sure if Americans could reinvent this, they will win wars. That's why they are started learning the biological weapons used in the Ramayana period. It's too long, 16 lakhs of years back. The Kaligala is 4,32,000 years. And if you compute back, 192 crores of years is the Earth's existence. The modern science also categorically says in 198 crores of years. Exactly, it is matching. But these Puranas and Idihasas you will see, but the essence starts from the Vedas. We have 4 major Vedas: Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and Atharva Veda. Atharva Veda is not considered as Veda by most of the people. But the 3 Vedas are very strong. And we have Brahmanas, Aranyakas, Upanishads. Upanishads are like gates. You have a textbook and a gate. Question answer. And you have Aranyakas, Brahmanas, which are practical textbooks. You have a theory, Veda, and you have practical session. You can see the structure in which, like what you are studying in the BTech, same structure we have. And if you look at Samaveda, the Samaveda, the Rigvedis will give the text and the Yajurvedis will do the action. The Yaga, all the havans putting, do the practical job is done by the Yajurvedis. The Samavedis job is do the Nagara Pradikshina and talk about what is happening in the Yaga. That is what is marketing. The MBS job, the management job. You can see a parallel. What is happening today was part of our culture long back. These lessons are not drawn for drawing's sake. It's actually the part of learning which was done by many scientists across this country for long years. There are a lot of people dedicated for doing research. And that starts not in today's, the 20th century or 2000th century. It's all from long years. Some of them could be Charaka, Susruta, Aryabhata, Varahamihira, and so many other people who have done this. You look at the health science generated by the Charaka and Charaka Samhita, which talks about not your disease, it talks about not dis-ease. Ease is being happy. I am at ease, that means I am healthy. Dis-ease is not being healthy. It is not talking about dis-ease, it is talking about health science. We never treated people based on their diseases. We took care of their health. That is what was done. And there were practices which says that how much to eat, when to eat, where to eat, all these were prescribed thoroughly. The health science was perfect. Whether you have to do exercise or not to do exercise was also prescribed. How much exercise is to be used was prescribed. Anything which you do much beyond what you are not supposed to do, then you will fall sick. That is also said. Even you can have heart attack if you do something which is beyond your ability. Many times you will see today in the TV, exercise is being prescribed by TV. Adivyaya. Sometimes it is not for you. I remember in my earlier days, 20 years back, I used to teach the pranayama to young children. I used to ask them, take a deep breath. They will take, and then I say, hold it. They will hold it sometime. It goes out like a pressure cooker. You are not supposed to do that. Later I found when I learned really the pranayama from my guru, they said, don't exert yourself doing pranayama also. There are a lot of modern gurus who are practicing left and right. Stupid. No charaka, no susuda prescribed these sort of practices. We have two noses given by God to take breath together. I don't know who taught them. And my guru used to tell they are all made for making people diseased. Because it says, prana yamena yuktena sarvaroga samaraha ayukta abhyasa yogena sarvaroga samudbhavaha. If you don't practice your breath in the nice style, you can fall disease. And you can be sick. That's what it says. You can imagine not even prescribing how to be taken breath, and if you don't take breath, what will happen? The nice time. That is also prescribed. Midam bhuktva shatam japtva padashatam shanai vama bhage shayanasya bishad kim prayojanam. How you should sleep, in what direction you must sleep, how much to eat, that's also prescribed. Ardhapuradayedannam tadardham varinam tatha. Eat only half of your stomach, rest of the half stomach, you fill half of that water and the rest be free. If you eat too much, you will see what will happen. I am for 25 years 60 kilogram. You take a weighing machine, put me on that. If it is more or less, you have to calibrate that equipment. If you don't practice your health perfectly well, you are going to be sick. No medicines on my body so far. For last 25 years. That's just because the practice which we have, it's not learning scientific heritage and talking about it. It's practicing what you have learned is important. Acharya is one who practices what he says. Bharatiya Shastra prescribed Acharya. And such Acharya, when they teach, how much can be learned is also prescribed. When an Acharya teaches, Acharyat padamadate, padam shishya swamedaya, padam sa brahmacharibhya, padam kalakramenaja. How much can be taught by an Acharya? How much can be learned by a shishya? How much can be learned between the peer groups? How much you can learn throughout your life? Educational technology. How to teach, how to learn, how to prescribe learning. Not even today, I go to different educational institutions and teach teachers. I ask them how much of your knowledge you part, how much they gain. The average, it always remains 1/4. So whatever was told by our traditional knowledge which we had in our Shastras can be seen exactly matching even today in our technological area where we have developed so far, but you don't see the difference in the psychology which we have and the philosophy which we had, the Shastras which we had. We knew the earth. It's very clear. Aryabhata has told many things. We also knew the atmosphere. Avaha, Pravaha, Udvaha, Stada, Paripurvagau, Vahau. All the 7 layers. 142 kilometers is the depth of the atmosphere. Exactly prescribed. If you ask modern science, they will say it is between 140 and 147. Not different. Exactly same. We had Vimana. You ask any of the flyers today, either Kingfisher already dead, or you take all the Air India fellow and then ask them to define what is Vimana. I'm sure they will not be able to define better than this. Desha deshantaram yadbhak dyupa dyupantaram chaiva yo ambare gantumarhasi sabhimana iti prokta. How nicely definitions are given. A vehicle which can move from one place to another place. Then you will have a question, it can move in the water, move on the road, move also in the air. So again, this is dyupa dyupantaram chaiva, from one island to another island. That means there are only two options, either by water or by air. Then the third stanza says, yo ambare gantumarhasi, which moves in air. Sabhimana iti prokta. That is what is called Bhimana. We see how nicely definitions are given. Why all this happens to be in slokas? Easy to remember. No process can be remembered. All slokas can be remembered. If you chant once or twice, it takes only few minutes again to recollect. I am sure whatever you have learned in your childhood, all the slokas you will remember now. That's why all the sciences were part of rituals. Sciences were part of the chantings which they had every day. There is a normal chanting which everybody is supposed to. While taking bath, the person will stand in the water and you will see them cleaning the water. In both hands they will clean like this. It's not actually cleaning. They know that the water cannot be cleaned by doing this. The temperature of the water is being felt by the hand. If you don't feel the temperature by hand and take a dip, it may be shivering for you. But I am sure if you put your hand for some time in the water and take a dip, you will not have shiver. That means you adjust the temperature of the body for the temperature of the water before taking dip. Can you imagine how scientific it was? And during the time they were supposed to chant one sloka. Yojanana sahasre dveshade dveja yojane ekena nimishadena kramamana namastude. It looks like a small prayer. Namastude. So it's a prayer salutation. To whom? The Lord Son. Yojanana sahasre dveshade dveja yojane. 2202 yojanas. Yojana is 12.11 kilometer by Indian National Science Academy's definition. So 2202 multiplied by 12.11. Distance is given. While taking bath, why you are talking about the distance to sun? Now the next stanza says, Ekena nimishardhena, half of a nimisha. Half of a nimisha is, one nimisha is time taken by your eyelid to close and open once. Or a sharp needle to go through the petal of a lotus petal. That is 0.28 seconds. Again, Indian National Science Academy has done research on this and identified. And this time is given, distance is given. Any physics student, you will find the velocity. You find the velocity, it is exactly the velocity of light. So the prayer which you have, chanting and praying Lord Son, defines velocity of light. Our part of our rituals happen to be science within sight. Take a lot of examples can be given. I used to ask chemistry professors when I used to teach them in the academic staff college for teachers refresher program. I used to ask them, do you know the size of an atom? They will say 10 power minus 9. Is there anybody who can imagine what is 10 power minus 9? No. I used to ask them how to find the thickness of this paper. Simple. You put some few number of papers, 100 papers and measure it and divide by the number of papers. That's how you should do it. So practical. Similarly, if you cannot measure the size of an atom, our Kanadas, during the time he said, put so many atoms together, how much it looks like. How much is the thickness? That will tell you the size of an atom. Take a bucket of water, put a torchlight inside, you will see small particle moving. Any light which feels inside a dark room, you will see particle moving there. That's called Rajaha. We had measurement from smallest to largest. We had measurement of time from the smallest to largest. And this example which tells you the Rajaha, Tasya Trimshattamo Bhagaha Paramanu Vidismradaha. That Rajaha you divide into 30 pieces, you will get size of an atom. 10 power minus 10. The nano meter. Can you imagine? This was when Neil Bohr was not taken birth in this world. Much before that. Jalandhara Gadebhano Yat Sushmam Drishyade Rajaha Tasya Trimshattamo Bhagaha Paramanu Vidismradaha. The size of an atom is defined. And the poet is so funny. he asks you, are you seeing it now? Can you imagine it now? And if you say, no sir, then he says, Jnaninam DrTPS. You must have little bit of knowledge, then only you can imagine. I'm sure everybody will agree saying that yes, I am able to understand now. So it's so funny, and sometimes such jokes in between, such fun in between make science much better. We have examples of Pythagoras theorem, the factors and squares, calculation by zero. When principal was mentioning the invention of zero, I used to tell that there are modern people in this world who says the contribution of India towards science is a big zero. And there is another set of people who says our contribution is zero. And I do not belong to both. I belong to somewhere in between. He says there are a lot of things which we have done. We could have done much better. Many things were lost because of many reasons. We had poets who were scientists for a long time. But after some time you will see most of the poets were romantic. They started talking about beauty, they are talking about nature, etc., etc., and lost their science. That's the reason we lost science sometime. But you can see such poetries, like for example Kumarasambhavam of Kalidasa. If you refer, you will see some of the references for the Big Bang Theory. He says, all learned people earlier also spoke about similar things. You can see references there. We were very strong in mathematics. Not from zero. Multiples of 10 digits multiple system we only had. We have normal Rudram Chamagam. The normal temples, every priest will start chanting. Ekajame, Ekajame, Trishyashtame, Trishyashtame, Panchajame, Panchajame, Saptajame, Saptajame, Navajame, Navajame, Ekadashtame, Ekadashtame, Troyodashtame. You will see this chanting. Until he becomes tired, he will start chanting. Never stop. What does it mean? Ekajame 1, Trishyashtame 3, Panchajame 5, Saptajame 7. Arithmetic progression. Some God doesn't like arithmetic progression. Next chapter. Geometric progression. Ekamcha, 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 Dashakcha, Dashakcha, Shatabcha, Shatabcha, Sahasrabcha, Sahasrabcha, Ayudamcha, Ayudamcha, Prayudamcha, Diyudamcha, Vayudamcha, Kayudamcha, etc. It goes up to 10 power 57. You can imagine this happened in this world when other part of the globe doesn't know how to count 0 and 1. This is our tradition. It's not somebody's, it's ours. Not mine. It's your great, great, great grandfathers. We must feel proud. Whichever caste we belong to doesn't matter. Whichever cadre we belong to doesn't matter. Whichever part of this globe we belong to doesn't matter. We must know that we had science here, we had culture here, we had philosophy here, we had great people who live in this country for not for their purpose, for somebody else. When the first feeding of the child who was supposed to be kept on the lap of the father, feed the kid. Maybe only nation or only culture wherein the father prays like this. Let all the people around, not people also, all the four-legged animals have sufficient food. All the two-legged animals have sufficient food. Let my son also have his food. This is the prayer which a father keeps while feeding the son the first time. You can imagine. This you will not see in any other part of the globe. Loga samasta sukhino bhavantu. Ena kena prakarena yasya kasyami dehinaha santosham janayat prajna tadaivam Ishvara pujanam. Ishvara puja is not praying God. It is praying, making people happy. Ena kena prakarena yasya kasyami dehina. Where, when, how, what you do doesn't matter. Make people happy. Not temporary happy, permanent happy. Maybe you are making somebody unhappy, temporal. But are you doing it for a better purpose, for him to become better tomorrow? Then you are doing the best service in the humanity, and therefore that is much better than praying God. Ena kena prakarena yasya kasyami dehinaha santosham janayat prajna tadaivam Ishvara pujanam. Ishvara was not given the prime importance. The prime importance is given for the people. You will not see this philosophy with all these written by the ritualistic people who wanted to practice religion but written for the people in a different style. We have in IIT and Allahabad, there is a small spectrometer recreated. Varaha Mihira's textbook, the Yendra Sarvaswa textbook used for recreating, in which Dvatrimsha Samyuktam, 32 spare parts are used. Tamo Bheda Pradarshakam, the sunlight can be split into different spectral regions. This today we call it a spectrometer. And the traditional name of spectrometer or the earlier form of spectrometer was Dandva Pramapakam Yantra. The definition how to manufacture is it well written. Navottara Shadatmakam, 109th equipment in the dictionary of all the Yendras. That means there are so many equipments written there. This is only 109. You can see the documentation we were very good. The problem with our traditional science was, or maybe the problem where we had, was we were not able to understand most of them because there is a mixture of science, philosophy, poetry, language and different subjects mixed together. It is not separated like today's we have. That's why Kaudilya's Arthashastra to learn, a great scientist from German, Simon says, you cannot understand it because understanding Arthashastra is like making rope out of sand. Impossible. Because when you look at Arthashastra, you will see the ore, mining, and from there the processing levels, and from there how to sell it, how much to be paid for each of these processes. And Andhra Desha, you all have to be proud of being in Andhra, the greatest fertilizer scientist, health scientist and chemical scientist. Rasarnava Kalpam, Rasarna Samuchayam, these are all the textbooks of Acharya Nagarjuna. He defines what is science. Lokana Upakaraya Edat Sarvam Pradarshidam. What is useful for human being is what is science. Sakshat Anubhava Drishto Na Sruto Na Guru Darshidaha Lokana Upakaraya Edat Sarvam Pradarshidam. What is not shown by your Guru is not science. What you experience is what is science. So science is to be experienced. This talks about how you have to be a good student when you learn science. You have to experience science. I think this Indian scientific heritage or Bharatiya Shastra Paidukam, I have taken few examples from here and there to give you a glimpses of what we had